Good morning, everybody. Today's conversation is going to be about how to become an expert at eBay. So, from my understanding of doing this for the last 4 years, is that pretty much every single type of item sells. It's just about being a little bit better than your competition and then scale. So, today I want to ask what you can do to be exceptional in this upcoming year. More people will try to sell on eBay maybe than any other year because people are underemployed. People are unemployed. They're looking for different ways to do things. And also, everyone is in a situation now where everything is sort of flooded. So, how do you stand out from the competition? For me personally, my goal is a really good selection of goods. Everything under $30, good selection of goods. I feel like that's where our country is going. More affordable, high quality. There's also more donations than ever. So in my niche, there's a good supply, good demand, but there's a lot of competition. So I'm gonna have to be really good at what I do in order to stand out from the competition. Maybe let's start with Linda. Linda, good morning. What are you doing to become an expert?
Good morning. So what I've been doing lately is yesterday I was able to do 68 listings, but I spread them out throughout the whole week. So I'm doing 20 a day and I'm going to do that for a month. And then I'm probably going to bump it up after that. But now I know I can do all those listings. Second thing I have to work on is now where to put all that stuff. So I've been thinking about how to reorganize all my space.
So what's different? How are you able to do that?
I have the photography, so I'm not
Oh,
having to do the pictures really, and then I could easily do 100 a day if I took no pictures.
so you got a photographer.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, my friend's doing it, and at first
Okay,
she was a little slow, but she's really picking it up. And then my 18-year-old son is now seeing what I'm doing and very interested, so he wants to help me. So I said, well, you have to start with taking all my pictures.
how
So,
long did that take to get your friend to go from slow to an acceptable pace?
well, she's already a photographer,
Okay.
so the skill was there. I
Hmm.
just needed her to be able to figure out her life on how to fit it into her life. She's got 4 kids and an elderly
Wow.
father, and yeah, but so far so good.
So does she just come in once a week? How does she fit it into her daily
I
schedule?
I give it to her. She does it whenever she wants, and I just pay her by piece. So
I see. That goes to my thought that if you want someone to be good, they have to already be busy.
yeah, yeah.
The I'm trying a new photographer today as well, and she has a jewelry business. And I'm like, how are you going to take pictures for me if you have a jewelry business? She's like, well, I'll just do the jewelry business at night. My jewelry business is not stable. Sometimes I sell items, sometimes I don't sell items. I don't want that. I want guaranteed money. So your business is going to be my rock during the day, make money. At night, I'll do my jewelry business. That'll be the bonus. I don't want to rely on my random jewelry sales.
Yeah.
So 4 kids, elderly care, and taking photos for you. I love it.
Yep.
That's cool. Let's go with Nick. Nick, good morning. Welcome to the call. What are you working on right now, and where do you live?
All right, good morning. I live in New York State. I'm in Rockland County. Um, so for me, I mean, I kind of launched in the past year. So for me, it's kind of organizing my workspace. I definitely got a lot of work to do. Um, and then I think in regards to the question of how to remain competitive, it's going to be sourcing like high quality items. So I'm not doing like liquidation buys or anything like that. Mainly smaller buys and just finding those competitive items, getting them listed. And I think for me, it's the learning curve. I'm comfortable with the shipping process, but I think it's how I can be most competitive with my shipping. So sometimes I'll have like larger items I'm trying to get out there, and the shipping prices is just astronomical. So how I can kind of reduce the cost for the customer to remain competitive on those items.
Yeah, and if you guys didn't notice, you probably did, but shipping went up recently. In the last week, shipping went up significantly. Went up like a quarter on cheap items, and then up to $1 on other items. So it's like margins have changed. Having a shipping advantage can come in the form of being able to ship items quickly or being able to ship items cheaply. Like as an example, a VCR would take me over an hour to pack because I'm not used to it. But for some people, it would be quick. Usually when you see vintage electronic stores, they're usually very small. Not always the case, but getting thousands and thousands of electronics would require storage and really good shipping. And also, if you're selling rare items, I think people would really appreciate, or higher quality items, the extra mile in packing it nicely.
For sure.
When you spend over $30, you don't want it to come in a cereal box.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah. I have a local shipping supplier, so I try to get all my inventory through them. Everything, try to keep it professional and organized, so I'm not like scrambling for random boxes and that sort of thing.
Love it. Cool. What's one thing that you can do? What is your biggest obstacle right now?
I mean, the listing consistency. So, I mean, I've listened to your channel for some time, so it's definitely building that listing habit. I have inventory on hand, so I think it's just the consistent listing on the items. I've been trying to hit 10 a day. 20 would be nice. So just hitting that 10 a day. So I think it's my daily schedule and how I can try to build that to help me hit that 10 a day for now.
Okay.
So, I think it's going to be setting aside those items that I want to list maybe the day before, have everything ready, prepped and cleaned, come and list them, then prep the new items for the next day so I can kind of not be scrambling for what to list.
Okay. Let's go with Nico. Nico, good morning. How are you? And what can you do to become a better expert this year?
I'm still doing the same business model that I've been doing, where I'm just trying to spend a lot more time sourcing, and I'm aiming for a higher ASP, but it really is more about how fast it flips. And that's really my main concern on every single item. I'm making sure that there's at least equal solds to the number of items available. And so, sometimes I only list 7 or 8 things a day, but they flip really fast. And I am still cross posting. I'm still trying to build that business and see how it works. But a lot of times that really makes my inventory just flip so fast. And the other 4 websites sometimes equal my eBay sales. Actually, a lot of times they do. So that's what I'm doing.
I want to share with you guys an example of what Nico is talking about, fast selling items. So here's an example of a brand, Arc'teryx, maybe one of the top clothing brands. So there's 4,704 for sale, and these are expensive items, 4,704. If you click on the sold listings, you have 9,633. So we have a sell-through rate of about 1.5 months and a really, really high average sale price, right? So you could definitely just look for Arc'teryx that's on sale.
Yeah.
You could get it brand new, flip it on eBay. Be careful because Arc'teryx is a brand that really protects brand new. So you'll see stuff like this, new other. So to avoid being pinged by the brand. So let's see what this person did. They did, and as you can see, is this picture, I don't know why eBay makes me log in twice.
I know. It does that to me too.
Okay. Whoops. I didn't want to list one. Okay. So as you can see, pictures are not special, right? Nothing special. This is actually a very bad title because the order of the title matters. You want to put Arc'teryx as the first word.
Yeah.
So even though this is a bad title, below average pictures, the shipping is too high. $15.20 is not what it costs to ship this jacket, especially if there's no, if it's coming in a padded. So they're doing everything wrong. They still sold it for a lot of money because they have the right item. Okay, so it's important. Get the right item in your store. Look at this. Nothing fancy about it. And this is like questionable whether or not this is actually new. Because there's new no tags or maybe he just did no tags to avoid Arc'teryx coming down with the hammer and saying you can't sell our goods without a rule.
Chris, that was actually an auction.
Yeah, that was an auction too.
Yeah.
Yeah, an auction.
That's
And then
probably why your freight's coming up, because that's free to you. however he figured it, at the high side or,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, but be careful because 15, 20 might prevent somebody from buying it in California. Why not
Yep.
just charge $10, even though it might be more than 10 if he ships it in a box? But this person, look at this. They've got this one and this one, two of them. So who knows if they're buying this? I don't think they would be buying this on clearance because they could sell for more. Also, remember, auctions sell for a lot less than buy it now. So these could sell for this jackets could sell for 150 easily if you just waited. Also, you can see people keyword spamming. This is a mammoth fleece, but they put Arc'teryx in the title. Don't do that because it's just not a good practice. So, but again, focus on items like Nico was saying that sell quickly. You need a much smaller store. If you had Arc'teryx, you probably could run a 6-figure store out of one bedroom
Mm-hmm.
because it sells so quickly. You don't have to have a lot of space.
Right.
It's one of those brands, Scott, you might want to add to your snipe list because, but I mean, usually people who sell Arc'teryx don't sell it for super cheap, but who knows? Maybe people who are lazy. I just sold the Arc'teryx t-shirt for $75. So people love
Yeah.
it.
Chris, that's what kind of happened to me is before I went full time again, my store had like 2,500 items and I had a lot more people helping me. And now I only have like 1,297 items today or something like that. But I have more cash flow coming into the business as far as my take home every single week because I'm just really doubling down on what I'm buying. And so I have very, very little cost of goods also. And so I've improved my income. Now I want to build it back up though, but
That makes sense. It's all about, again, consistency. Everyone is talking about that in the chat online. And if you develop a listing of 10 items a day, a habit of 10 items a day, that's more than $30,000 in a year.
right.
If it's $10 profit. And I think everyone could get 10 items a day and have a full-time job if you just listed just like you brush your teeth. That would be the key. Get into that rhythm. And no, people have been messaging me a lot about their family members not being supportive. Well, this is what I see a lot. You get off of work, it's 5 o'clock. You're not efficient in your processes. So between 5 and 11 p.m., you ignore your family and you don't even get your 10 listings up. So you're not making money and ignoring your family. They're going to hate you. What you need to do is maybe just dedicate 1 or 2 hours, then spend the rest of your time with your family and explain to them what listing 10 items a day will do. Because people don't know until you show them your
Yeah.
account. That's why I think it's good for a lot of people to use Facebook Marketplace in the beginning. You can leave with an Arc'teryx sweater, come back with money to show your family. That's huge. So no one, everyone takes money seriously. Let's go with Scott Eifler. Good morning. What could you do to become a better expert?
A couple things. Yesterday was a real eye opener. The call with Ty. I am really digging the listing more things faster with him. I don't know if I would do it on everything, Chris. But you would let me free up a lot of time for sourcing and just getting rid of the mundane, the pictures and the listing and the especially on the hard goods that tie you up for hours and hours and hours. Makes great money, but it just ties you up.
Yeah, that's a listing faster is a huge advantage.
Absolutely. No, it's phenomenal. Are you, Chris, are you still using him for some things or not much at all anymore?
I don't. Right now, I'm using my own VAs. I'll give you an example. So the main thing that I want to do is I want to connect the pictures with the title. So whether you use Hammock or you do it yourself is the same. So I have somebody at my work that does the titles. Okay, so that was it's the easiest job to train, but it's the most difficult job for someone to be fast. For someone to quickly write titles, they need to be an expert in that niche. So what I found is that people who love fashion and are very busy are the best people to write titles. So right now, one person is writing the titles, the other person is taking the photographs. So you can see I'm training a VA right now to connect the photos and the title for me. So, then I can come through every morning. I'm expecting 180 a day. This is his first day. So he's been working for a couple of hours, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 16, 17. So he's done 21 so far. I'm going to delete this because this is the draft that's not. He's done 20 or so, and I'm expecting 20 an hour later. But I told him I'm going to give you until March 1st to be able to do this quick enough. The benefit of using Hammock is day one, they'll be able to do this for you. You don't,
Well,
yeah.
What I'm thinking about doing is just hitting that next hump or getting the next 1,000 up
Yeah.
progressively, and then the shirts are easy. The pants are fairly easy. The numbers are easy, but it's still, how do you load in another 1,000 items into your system that fast? All you need to do is click and go. And yes, pay the $1.40, whatever it is per item, but
I'll give you the difference in price. It's $1.40 if you have if you use Cellhound or Hammock. I recommend Hammock over Cellhound because they do every category. The difference in cost for me teaching somebody else to do it is 20 cents a listing. That's how big of a difference it is in price. So if you are doing it on a small scale, it doesn't matter because 10 listings for $10, that's not going to make or break your business. But if you're doing thousands of items, it's a huge difference. Like my bill to Hammock was more than my mortgage. So that's okay because the skill is, the amount of money is totally worth it. Because if you want to go fast, then okay. If you want to go fast, you can set up a service, but it's not cheap. It's also better if you set it up yourself because you can teach the person to do exactly what you want. So this is the part that really blew my mind. This lady, or my new VA, is in a different country. For $500 a month, he can buy a house. Okay, in his area. It's not the best area. I got to know him a little bit in the interview. $500. He said at $100 he could rent a place, no problem. A month, 500 he could own. So this isn't mind blowing to me. I hired somebody yesterday in the morning to come do descriptions for me. This person was born here, and the person in the Philippines had way better spelling. It blew my mind how educated this person was in a different country. So if you're using Hammock or you're using your own VAs, the quality of work will be really high. The only thing that's challenging is if you're teaching somebody to do descriptions and titles from just pictures, that's really hard. Really hard because they can't touch the item, they can't feel it, they can't see the defects. You're going to have a way more returns. I've been down that route where I just take the pictures and that's it. That's not the way to do it, in my opinion. You have to hold the item if you want to sell it for more and accurately describe it. But back to the speed part. Speed comes to, if you want to go faster, sell less categories. That's how you sell fast. That's how you grow your store quicker. It's counterintuitive. You're like, oh, I want to sell more. I'm going to learn more categories. That's not how this works. You could sell only Arc'teryx if you decided that was going to be your route. There's only 4,000 items on eBay. That's hardly any. You can go to the Arc'teryx outlet and there's 60 different styles. You could post all of them at MSRP and you'd probably sell one a day. You would make $100 profit once a day on Arc'teryx if you went there, but you would get in trouble from the brand. They would not let you sell their outlet items. They would for sure shut you down. So be careful if you're going to do that. And I don't know if it's worth it to list all items as used. Now you're confusing the buyer, and it's not like listing him as used is going to prevent them from attacking you, because they want the customers to get a good deal going to the outlet, not you price gouging them. So
Chris,
Linda was, go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. How do you list, and I'm sure you're getting into some products, they're brand new shirts.
Yep.
When you buy them in bales, some have tags. Most of the tags have been taken off. Looks like they're probably store closing. They've cut the tag off, or they pulled the tag.
Mhm.
It still has the the price thing on there, the little white, thing. You list those as new without tags, or you just go used automatically?
I go new without tags.
That's what I've been doing too. I mean, you can see it's a brand new shirt, folded. It's never been worn. In the last batch that I got in this last bale, almost 99% of it was the same way, but they were sold to me as used.
Yeah, that is, Amazon defines new as gift quality, never sold before. So even if it's new with tag, like if you got a brand new book and you're new to Amazon, don't send it in to FBA saying it's new, because if a customer says it's not, you're going to be in trouble. So it depends. It's always better to over deliver. There's nothing wrong with putting every single item in your store as used. So I met a Vitamix refurbisher in Florida. He did. He got a contract directly with Vitamix, directly with Ninja, the blender brand, and BlendTech, all three brands.
Wow.
He was a certified refurbisher. So what he would do is, even though he had contracts to buy the returns, customers would return Vitamix, BlendTech, or Ninja. They would go directly to him in a pallet or whatever, and then he would fix them. Even the ones that were brand new and not opened, he sold as pre-owned, because he said in the category of blenders, there's a lot of crappy customers that will return their old blender. So if you just say that they're all used, nobody returns it. So he's taking a hit of like $40 or $50, not selling it as a new blender, but avoiding the $300 or $400 return. That's scary. So he would literally take a picture of a used blender, then send him a new one to just not get that return. So yeah, that happens in the camera category. And also maybe in the chat, if you guys know, I've never seen people get items removed on Poshmark and Mercari except for P90X. You can't sell Beachbody products anywhere. So if you see it at a garage sale for $1 and you see this sold on $90 on eBay, it's because that person didn't get caught before they sold it, not because you can. As Tech and Sports would say, everybody speeds, not everyone gets caught. So just be careful. Yeah, so Scott, speed, it comes down to just narrowing your categories.
I'm really
Go
going to
ahead.
stick with the two, with the hard goods. I still have some of my old inventory to, of course, get rid of, so I'm going to have to spread out a little bit. But the clothing, great foreseeable future in that. And the hard goods make good money. So it's going to be a twofold store is what I'm really going to come down to.
So shout out to the Family Flips in the chat. They do pallets and liquidation. I'll have them on the show and they can talk about it. They're saying that the pallet or the chain of custody has been broken when you sell it as used. And that makes sense, because the verified rights is fuzzy once you own the items. You could say you're the verified rights owner now because you bought the item, but you still can't represent that, because if that was true for all items, you could sell fake Jordans and just say I'm the owner of these things, but you can't use the word Jordan or their logo. And you can't use the terminology for entertainment purposes only. That does not exonerate you from listing an item against the brand. I've seen that. Like this is just for fun. It's not serious in the description, but the brand still thinks it's very serious. So don't do that. Doesn't work. Let's go with Bill. Bill, good morning. Can you chat?
Good morning. Yep.
What can you do to take your business to the next level?
Well, I'm doing it. I haven't missed a day of listing. My sales are up 112% this month, 113.
Wow.
And as are my listing impressions, 100%. My
Okay.
click-through fell 0.1%, but my conversion rate's up. So, and my page views are up. So my conversion rate now is 1.2% on 2.75 million views. So those indicators are really good. And I haven't gotten to my goal of 30 a day yet, but I've not missed a day.
I love it.
So I'm real happy about that. And I did find a vendor that I really like in terms of private labeling. Got these really cool handmade, these are wallet chains for motorcycle guys.
That's cool.
And I found a guy in Vermont, and he makes them by hand, stainless steel. So I just got the first shipment in. So they're already listed in my store, and I'll put them in my actual store this weekend. So, you know, the march continues. And if it's something that works well in the first 30 days, he's already agreed to let me have national distribution rights. So,
Yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna need a link to your store, man.
okay. Are you a bike rider, Nico?
That's Christine, but she is.
Or Christine, sorry.
That's cool. Well, also on that thought, Bill, there's people who will drop ship for you. There's a gentleman in the group who sells handmade wallets.
Oh, really?
And when the wallet sells, the maker makes it and ships it.
Okay.
So what's it called? He knows his wallets. That's incredible. Like the different leather, because a wallet is pretty crazy. A generic wallet that's made in China that somebody stamps their brand on, like let's say Alfani or something Macy's brand, that wallet sells between $20 and $40 at the store. On eBay, it sells between $15 and $20 for the generic wallet. So those sell like crazy. They sell thousands of times a day on eBay. Money clips, those cheapy wallets. Then it goes to like $300 or $400 for a nice designer wallet where the leather is exceptional. It's sometimes the leather is waterproof. I have a waterproof leather wallet, and it's like it jumps from like $20 to $40 to $300 to $700 for a wallet. In that middle ground, though, there's some people who will pay $75 to $150 for that quality leather without the Gucci logo. So that person found a niche right in the middle, and they drop ship the items. So that's good too. Like, I don't know if we can all get to that point where we only make things to order, but that would be badass. No inventory.
Yeah, I'll talk to him because maybe we can get a line of wallets to go on these wallet chains.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Yeah. I man, wallet chains. That's like, it's current and also vintage. That was like a thing when I was in high school.
And
like
I
it.
only found out about it because I had a customer come into the flea market and ask me, hey, do you got any wallet chains? I'm like, wallet chains.
Yep.
So the other thing that I wanted to share is that my son is up from Columbia, and he's everything I bought yesterday at Goodwill and Goodwill is already listed. So
Wow.
he did all the listings. We did 19 yesterday. I approved them. I already have 8 done this morning. And it's just a relief of stress off of me to not have to go through that. And, you know, all I had to do was correct a few little mistakes and showed them what I wanted. And, you know, it's just a big help.
One more thought on Beachbody. Someone in the chat said they got a Vero violation 3 weeks after they sold the item. So you can't just, brands are really vigilant about taking care of their stuff. So if you sell it and you're not allowed to, they can get you even after you've sold it. So just avoid that if you can. Let's see. We have Nick in the chat also saying that she's had 3 items on Poshmark removed from the brands. So it's going to become more of a thing, and it's the strictest on Amazon, second strictest on eBay, and then it goes down as the brands only have so much time with their legal interns to send you emails and remove items. and they will always remove your item because they care a lot more about the brand than you. So don't take it personally. Just stop selling that brand and move on. Let's go with Don. Don, good morning. What could you do to improve your business?
Yeah, good morning. Hey, I could get a consistent employee. My niece thought she was going to be able to find a job, and she's going back to New York. So after only being here for a month, fortunately she helped to get rid of my death pile a little bit, but just that inconsistency because my flow has been down this month dealing with her, and I got a bunch more items listed, but my sales are down, and now she's gone again. So I think I'm done with these girls. She's going to New York. She's graduated from college. She's never coming back. So I think I need someone consistent that would really help. I got a nice flow with her. With the employee, I've been using Hammock. And so she got really good. She's listing everything in the spreadsheet, and then photographing, and then I'm doing the drafts here in the morning. And that's been flowing pretty good. But that's one thing, consistent employee. And then also, I have a lot of inventory that's just sitting there. The new stuff I list that moves, but there's like 1,000 pieces that are just dead. I don't know, like a resetting the store, going back and lowering the price on some old items that were listed. I have the same store for 6 years. So there's still things that when I first started that I wouldn't sell now that are sitting there. Do I go find one each day and throw it away, or drop the price? So just some basic efficiency. But other than that, it's as a side hustle, this is still kicking ass. So I'm very positive about that.
So that reliable help. I will tell you one more thing that helped me. So I didn't realize this. Good people go quick. I got a bunch of resumes that were from people who were awesome, and I took too long to respond. I responded like a day later, and they'd already found something. So I'm like, if you put up an ad and someone applies and they hit all the criteria, you should call them right away to get that person in your store, because I literally missed 2 people that were awesome because they found something else. And this particular eBay job usually doesn't pay over $20 an hour. So you're second choice to a real job. So when you get people to apply, you got to be quick.
Yeah, and I'm only doing 15 an hour. So if you're doing 20, you're probably getting even a little bit better.
Yep. So I'm doing 15 to 20. You start at 15 for the first 2 weeks, and then you reevaluate. So my goal is to have the describer do 150 items a day in 8 hours is the goal. So the lady started at 15 an hour, but the last 3 times she's come in, she's done 250 items. So I'm paying her 20 now because at 240, it's the same rate as at $20 an hour as 150, and only took her 2 days to get to that pace because she actually already worked at a Plato's Closet. So for clothing, it was really easy for her. She knew every brand. And then the photographer told me that I should be looking for people with design background, not photography background. She's like, this is not actually a photography job. It's more of a production job because all the photos are the same. You just need someone who can center the item perfectly. And that's going to be more of a design student, because photography also is flowing and creative and artistic. And she's like, that person is probably not. You want somebody more mechanical for a photography job. So
yeah, that's a good tip.
Yeah, interesting. So who would have thought maybe an engineer is the best photographer for your store? I don't know.
Are you telling her that after, if she gets to a certain level, you're going to increase her pay?
Yep.
Up front? Okay, so that's a motivator for her to pick up the pace.
And I also say that I never say you're the only one I'm interviewing.
Right.
It's a tryout. So people are on their best behavior right from the beginning. And then I would say that the lady, because for photographs, I'm at the same pace. I'd like to do 150 photos in 8 hours. And then on the East Coast, Haban, my lady, she does 200. So she gets paid more because she does it. And because her photos are so good, I actually pay a little bit more. I pay a dollar a photo. So she makes $200 a day working for me for photos, $200 per set of photos, because they're essentially perfect. So even if I paid $20 an hour, so she's making more. $20 an hour would be 160. She's making $22, $23 an hour. It's fine because I don't have to worry about it. The issue is when you pay $15 an hour and then you're gonna go back and edit the photos, then it's a waste of time. Pay a little
Right.
more and get it perfect. So Daniel, I'm not gonna talk about how I take the photos publicly, but I will on the other days. But it's between 8 and 10 photos per item. Yeah.
Hey, Chris, do you supply the camera, correct?
I don't.
Oh, you don't anymore. Okay, I thought you did.
You have to have an iPhone 8 or higher.
Okay, very good.
And the first couple of weeks when you work for me, I can't dictate the hours because I don't want to get in trouble with California. So you come when you want, when you can, between 9 and 6.
Nope, totally understand.
And amazingly, they come from 9 to 6. Even though I put you can come whenever you want. And okay, so it's kind of an issue because I think I'm still on the hook. So I'm probably gonna have to convince or convert everyone to an actual employee, because in California they really want the person to have more than one client. If they only work for you, that means they work for you. They're not an independent contractor. And if they use their own equipment, then it's good. But since they're using my photo box, that's my equipment. So it's kind of not quite an independent contractor. The describer lady, I had her do it at her house and she hated it. She was like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it at my house. I want to do it here. It's awesome here. I can come here. I can get out of the house. Also, I didn't realize this. So I was worried that because of COVID, we're in a kind of a small area. My workspace is only 10 by 10 and there's 3 people in it. So I was worried about, are people going to apply? Are they going to worry? You know, what is it, right? But over the last few days, more than 400 people applied for these jobs. And the reason is because there's no customers. People are afraid of customers. They don't want to work quick serve. They don't want to work restaurants. They want to work. So they're like, the same 3 people every day, I feel much safer than working at Starbucks and I see 50 people a day. So surprisingly, I think right now might be a good time to hire people because some people are afraid. The 2 people that work for me though are not afraid of the virus, but they also don't like the idea of having tons of customers. So that helped. It's been interesting. But I like the 4-hour test run. Today I have another lady coming at 9. And also, one thing I really, really like about the 4-hour test run is each time I get a new person, it's a brand new opportunity for me to test my process. It's a low commitment, come for 4 hours. And if they can do it on their first day, then that means your process is solid. If it takes 2 or 3 hours for them to learn how to do the first one, then your process is broken. You want a stranger to come in and immediately do it. So as an example, yesterday, the lady I brought couldn't spell. So I'm like, okay, she couldn't spell the word stretch. So I was like, okay, look at the other listings. And if you see stretch, just spell it like that. And she still wasn't able to do it, unfortunately. She's just too poor of a typer to be able to do the job, but which is sad. Hopefully she can become a buyer for me. So I'm doing twofold. Come in the store, work for 4 hours. You know what I sell. If you suck at describing items and photographing items, no problem. Since you're unemployed anyway, go thrifting for the exact same stuff you just tried to do. Text me at the store. Tell me what you found. Hopefully I can cash you out. Just be a home run shopper for me. And I thought that the stay-at-home order was lifted, but apparently not. Things are still closed here. So I don't know how that's gonna work. Go ahead, Mark.
My camera broke down on me.
Oh wow.
last week. So I was forced to go back to my phone, using my camera phone.
Yeah.
So I started using Photo Room on
Mm.
Android.
Yep.
And what I found out was I was able to choose what camera app that I can use for it when I choose to take a photo with it. And what I did was I set up my camera to show the grid lines. So when I'm using the photo room, the grid lines are there, square format, and shooting in manual. And so, like, if yours doesn't show, try to see if you can set up your camera that you're using for photo room is showing the grid line. So, so when you use that, it might automatically show it. And plus,
Go ahead.
I have it running with Google Photos at the same time. So as soon as I'm taking the photo, it's already uploading and it's already in my computer. It's so seamless now. Better than the camera itself. It's like a, it sucks that it broke down, but it gotten faster. No more Lightroom, nothing. Everything is already edited. The way that you showed it, exactly
Yeah.
the same way. But I don't
Yeah.
do the only two photos, and then it was faster for me to just take the shots
Yeah.
and then
I got
edit.
you. I got you.
But
Yeah, sometimes it's good when things break down because you can go and adjust it. Also, Joe in the chat you guys should follow the Family Flips if you haven't. He's saying that you also can't dictate the pay. They have to set their own rate, which makes sense. Actually, if I did that, there might be people who'd be like, I do this for $10 an hour. I guess that if they dictate their own pay, then it's a lot more reasonable. I've never thought of that. But the lady that's taking photographs for me last week, she did 900 sets of photos, and I was like, "Who are all of your friends? I'll send one of her friends to your place, Don." Because she's in Fremont. So maybe people who are she's an interior design student. So her goal is to own a firm that does house stagings. That's what her aim and end game is. Own a place that stages the home when it's about to be sold. But again, that eye for centering things, and maybe that's a good person to pick. Also, she worked in a sushi restaurant before working for me, and she told me this is way less tiring. Because I was like, is this destroying your body, taking 180 sets of photos a day? And she said, this is way easier than working in a sushi restaurant. I'm on a cushy pad. I don't have to run around on a hardwood floor. My boss isn't yelling at me because the orders are late. There's no customers. And the movement is, she's also not bending at all because everything is at waist height. So I don't know. She was loving it. And maybe that design student goal will help you. But when you find a good person, hang on to them, pay them extra, don't let them leave. She wants to stay for 2 semesters. So I'm on borrowed time too. When she graduates, she's not working for me. 2 semesters to grind out as many photos as I can before she does something better. Let's go with Brian. Brian, good morning.
Good morning.
What are you working on?
Just finished shipping for the day, so I'm trying to get up earlier to get the shipping knocked out. So then, if I need to go sourcing, or if I have plenty of inventory, I can just work on more listings, get more drafts up. I do think like talking about workers, like Clay, he used to be on the call, but he prefers like guaranteed money. So I'm gonna start having him coming over on Saturdays and have him pay him to do measurements and photographs, and I'll create the listings. I guess I'm kind of curious, like what I want to pay per rate, because I mean, Clay's my friend, but he's chatty. So I don't want to pay per hour. I'd rather, per item. And I was thinking maybe $1 an item with measurements and photographs. Does that sound reasonable, or kind of what would a good rate be?
I'm paying 75 cents for title, measurements, condition grading, and flaw grading. So like the whole touching the item part, 75 cents, which seems to be reasonable. And then the photography, I'm paying 75 cents. I would pay $1 if the item was packed for me, but from what I found, it's a totally different job. So Scott was talking about composition of the photo, somebody taking a really good framing. That is a different job than packing it into a plastic bag. So I was like, don't do any of the plastic bag packing. Let me do that since I'm grunt labor. Let you do the important work, and I'll just I'll be the janitor. But just looking at that, I thought 75 cents per set of photos, 75 cents for describing. That's $1.50. And then that leaves you enough money if you want to hire your own VA for 50 cents. That's great. Or if you want to hire an external service like Hammock or Cellhound, that's another $1.50. So you're in about $4 to get a listing up. That's not bad if you have the margins to scale and you want to spend all your time sourcing.
Right. Yeah, I've used Hammock. They're pretty good, but I don't know. I think maybe a VA like what you were talking about. So if I sent them the pictures, I'm assuming you could get a VA that would be similar to Hammock, with just the photographs and the measurements that they could create a good listing.
Yes, if it's one category. So right now, since I have more than one category, I'm telling the let's see. I'm expecting this guy to take a month to learn how to sell all the different categories that I have. If you just sold in one category, though, they could learn how to do it in a couple of days.
Now, when you're saying category, would men's clothing count as a category? Would be like men's pants, men's shirts?
I would say men's shirts and men's pants is even much more complicated because of the different measurements, the item specifics. Because like yesterday, he was like, "Where do you have a chart for me to? What's geometric? What's solid? What's polka dot? Where can I get a chart of that?" Also, the measurements, we are estimating low rise, mid rise, high rise. So the rise measurement, he's going to have to learn which is low, medium, high, ultra, ultra low. There's also ultra low. And then also the inseam, I'm having him add if it's been hemmed. I'm trying not to actually pick up items that have been hemmed, but there's just different procedures for hemmed. Also, button fly versus zip. That's something that I'm teaching. Most of the items are not vintage, but there's in my chart, there's about 13 item specifics I need to train him on. And that's just one category. So it is different. And then women's is even more complicated. If you decide to go women's jeans, there's also, what were the other ones? Oh yeah. Like for example, petite, regular, tall, plus.
Juniors.
It's a little more complicated. It's almost like I need to teach the describer to put that in the title to make it easier. So it's it is interesting. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just throwing in the juniors too. Just all the
juniors too.
All the different sizing types.
Yeah, that's right.
But I will say, like on the women's jeans, like they give you a lot of information usually on the inside. Skinny. A lot of those keywords makes it easy to, like if you're looking for solds, it does make it pretty easy. But to train a VA, I could see how that would be difficult.
Yeah, it's just about narrowing it down. And because I talk about McDonald's a lot, a few McDonald's managers told me that the McDonald's menu, one of the reasons why they're not as successful is their menu is too big. It's hard to teach people how to make 8 different sandwiches. But In-N-Out, they make basically one sandwich. I didn't realize the grilled cheese is just a cheeseburger with no meat. I thought it was a different sandwich. It's not a different sandwich. It's the same sandwich with no meat. So they really have 3 offerings: drink, burger, fry. That's it. $1 billion empire, family owned. So yeah, I love it. Speed.
Yeah, and I've been thinking about that a lot too, and I'm wanting to niche down more and more. I don't know. It's just like I have this mindset now, like clothing is easy, and even when I pick up shoes, I'm like, just the thought of switching mental gears. Um, I do think niching down is definitely the key to it, and just get this mindset and just go and be done.
Matt, do you want to chat?
Sure.
What can you do to become an expert this year?
Well, I already consider myself an expert there, you know. When it comes to blue jeans, men's blue jeans, though, I am an expert. One way I could grow, though, right now I do all of the building the titles and putting together the listings, filling out the specifics and pricing. I feel like that's a really, really difficult job to be great at. If I were to hire somebody to do that, I know my sell-through rate, my return rate, all of that would diminish because like I said, I am the expert at it. So if I hired somebody, I know I wouldn't get as good results as if I did it myself, but that's the only thing that would allow me to scale and do 1,000 items a week instead of 300 or 400. So either I could figure out how to keep the quality high on the title building and pricing.
So my thought, Matt, is maybe like what I do now is it's in the spreadsheet. I go back and correct the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So I can do, 10 titles in 5 seconds, just making minor adjustments here or there. Like this lady put white and black shapes. I'm like, that's houndstooth. Come on, girl.
Yeah.
But she didn't know that. So that would be a quick addition that you can make, because they can look up mid-rise, high-rise, boot cut. They can do that. And especially the lady that I have now is pretty good about looking up the RN code if she doesn't know. And that helps a lot too. She can find out what the manufacturer called it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would take you to the next level, Matt, if you could create another expert.
Yeah, because right now I kind of put a little personal touch on every title.
Yeah.
Like I'll put heavy denim work pants or something like that if it's like a really nice pair of vintage Carhartts or something. And I feel like the psychology of the buyer on eBay, when they're scrolling through the listings and they see somebody that's specialized the title in that way, it's like, bam, that person gets it. They have what I want. They're speaking right to me. I feel like that's the psychology in the buyer's mind of shopping on eBay.
Yeah, I agree. Like, if you were to search for a Harley Davidson t-shirt and somebody wrote the title, vintage Harley Davidson shirt, size large, 1988 conference or something, right? Versus Harley vintage Davidson shirt, large. Like if it doesn't make sense or read well, the customer's already disconnected.
Exactly. The customer's already disconnected. You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. And that's why I don't mind when people put better than you think in the title. That's not a keyword, but it's like, they're like, oh, okay, this person cares to let me know this item is better than the rest of the items. I might click on it and actually buy it.
Yeah. Like Levi's. The old Levi's are a lot heavier and thicker denim, but a lot of the new ones are the same way, but sometimes you get some that are really lightweight. Then I think the buyer, if you let them know that if you go a little more specific, then they already know exactly what they're looking for. So if you just tell them you have what they're looking for, they'll buy it from you instead of anybody else because there's more doubt. But yeah, the psychology of it, man, it's really interesting. And I feel like the title, that is where you make the sale.
I just saw a new or an electronics seller emailed me saying in the title he puts actually tested, and he's been doing good, because most people, by testing it, they mean they just turned it on. That's not testing it. So yeah, that's true. Anytime you can be better than your competition, people will trust you, and you might get a repeat customer, which is big. Let's
Yeah,
go,
and I'm
Scott.
hoping.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I'm hoping if I hire somebody to do the describing and titles and pricing and stuff, they'll actually keep that in mind and have uh, an interactive kind of experience mentally with the future potential buyer while they're working. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Matt, you reminded me of a story of Gary Keller. When he started his real estate company, he had 3 branches. And he's like, how come the branches are only good when I'm there? He would rotate between the 3 branches, a couple days here, a couple days there, a couple days there. And he's like, we need to figure out why it only works when I'm here. What am I doing? Because I don't want to be here. I can't go to all 3 locations. So he hired someone for a year to follow him around with a video camera and just write down what he's doing. And then they just made slow increments. And then now he has 2,000 locations. He just figured out what he was, because you're an expert because you do probably 200 or 300 little things. I don't know. We don't know what they are yet, but there's things you notice about the listing that other people don't yet.
Yeah, it's the process that I go through mentally,
Yeah.
each time I do something. It's hard to write down, but you always think in a linear fashion, and you have to hit certain things through that process of thinking to get you to that end goal. And a lot of those, it's just mental. It's quick. You don't know to even write it down. You don't even know you're doing it. So, yeah. And I love the idea of basically like making a documentary of yourself. That'd be really fun.
Also, one more thought. When I sold that I sold a $400,000 Lexus, and it's a Lexus, so it's supposed to be reliable, just like everything Toyota makes. But it was the least reliable car they've ever made. Because when the guy was explaining, he's like, look, we made 500 of these. We don't know how anything works. We made 1 million Camrys this year. Okay, every single one is perfect. This is like the key might not work. We don't know if the electronics work. We only did it 500 times. We don't know. And it was like the owner was like, this is the key I get on a $400,000 car. It was just a regular car key. He's like, you guys didn't spend the extra whatever it costs to make a good key. They're like, we just ran out of time. It's just really hard to make one-off items. We lost our ass on this car. It's not reliable. It's one-off. None of us are an expert in it. So it's expensive and low profit. So be careful. Like being really good at the basics. Like yesterday I made a video. If you just sold American Eagle jeans, you can make a 6-figure living. No problem. Even that one brand. And there's enough of them if you figured out a way to find them all. Like if you went to a thrift store and said, do you have any American Eagle jeans? And they said, no, that's probably impossible. Probably have one pair somewhere. Unless it's in their own eBay store. So, but if you said, do you have a pair of G-Star or Diesel jeans? They might not. It would be hard to get enough of that inventory to do it. Although there is a seller in Germany who's probably listening right now in Stuttgart. He sells only G-Star and Diesel. I thought that would be hard to do, but he still pulled it off. And he's like, in his city, I think they make Mercedes-Benz and BMW in that city. And he's like, you can do anything if you want to. I wanted to only sell Diesel and G-Star, and that's where I'm at. Let's go with Scott Race. Scott, what can you do to become an expert this year?
I don't know, just keep practicing the basics, I guess. Still listing every day, trying to get that net 10, which I think I'll actually hit for this month, surprisingly. I did notice that once I hit over 1,000 listings, a week later, my traffic doubled, like actually doubled. Like I went from about 100,000 to 200,000 impressions. Took a week to catch up. So I don't know if that 1,000 mark matters, or if, once you get outside of your source subscription, it goes up. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right. Anybody else have some feedback? Or maybe Christine. Christine, what can you do this year?
Well, I have, I'm a little nervous to say it, but I made a decision on what category I am going to hone in on. And that is men's I'm afraid. Men's shirts, men's tops, actually.
Really?
Say yes, men's tops. I
Okay.
have an abundance of. I've got a lot of thrift stores in my area. I mean, I've got probably about 10 within. Well, no, I know I have 10 in about 11 miles radius.
Hmm.
That's a lot, in my opinion. And a lot of them have a lot of men's clothing. The other thing is that I'm looking at a lady who sells bales of clothing, and she only sells women's. So I'm going to hone in on the men's tops so she can find them for me, because I'm not going to a rag house because I'm just not doing it. Tech scared me off of that. That's the other reason why I'm afraid of that, is because I mean, I'm never going to catch him. That's just the bottom line. I'm never catching him, but I don't want to catch him. I don't want, that's
You don't want 30,000 items?
30,000.
Yes, 30,000 items in a store.
Yeah, probably not want to go that big. My brain right now is focused on 120 a year right now. That's all. That's my brain is not matured well enough to go further than that.
120,000?
Yeah.
Okay, that was double your income from your previous job.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So
love it.
I can grasp that. So, that's where I am right now. That's I'm going to dump all of the I'm putting my stuff on the hard goods on sale, and then whatever doesn't sell at the end of mid-February, I'm going to give to my sister, and then that'll be gone, and that'll free up a whole lot more space. Women's clothing that I have, I'll just continue to sell out and just be done with it.
One thing, Christine, I think would be useful if you have, or everyone in the group, if you have time this year, you should go watch a marathon. The reason why I say that is because in a marathon, they have pacers. There's a person that holds a sign that says, if you're this speed, follow me the whole race. And that's really useful. So right now with Tech and Sports as our pacer, he's kind of running too fast because you can't even see him after about 2 minutes of following him, right? Because he's what I like the term ultra lister, because at 250 a day, that's most people in this group are trying to do 10, 20 a day. He's doing 250 a day. That's so ridiculous. That's not even the same. You know what I mean by him being a pacer. So you just want to follow the person that's pace that you are at. And then that will be, over time, we'll get everyone in the group following. It's much easier to follow than you be the person. Like if Nick was all of his friends listed 15 a day, then he would get the 15 a day pretty quick. And if you want to really, it's like, kids, they will put the kid that's advanced in the older age group. That's another way to kind of do it. It's just that he's, we're like kindergartners against an Olympic athlete with him in the group leading us, but at least it's kind of a inspirational following. But yeah, I think that it doesn't make sense for you to set your income goal of 500,000 because it's not even comprehensible at this point. Even from 60 to 120 is a ridiculously huge jump.
But I can grasp that.
You can grasp it though. Yeah.
I mean, Napoleon Hill, whatever your mind can conceive, your mind can achieve.
That's right.
And I know it's possible. It's not over the top. It's not, I can grasp that. And once I get halfway there, I might be able to grasp more.
That's right.
I mean, but for right now, so I'm super excited about it. I'm going to, right after this, I'm going to list, and then I'm just, yay. I'm excited. I love this business.
Everyone can sort of grasp double, right? Yeah. Whatever you're doing right now, how could you do twice as much? And people will always people always default to, I'll just work twice as much. That doesn't work. You don't have twice as many hours. No one does that. You have to figure out a different way. Working twice as hard does not equal twice the results either. Because there's only so much of you. When you stretch yourself thin, now you're getting worse results. Like the VA asked me what he could do right now while he's off. And I'm like, you should just go to sleep. So tomorrow we can start over again. And like, because he's only going to get a little bit better each day. I told him, I'm not expecting you to be good at this until March 1st. You know, it's still January. Just take your time, get better tomorrow. Let me know all the mistakes. And I'm doing that Toyota philosophy. If there's no problem, that's a problem. Tell me what's not working, what's difficult. If you don't understand this item specific, tell me so I can try to make it easier for you. Like the petite, junior, tall thing is complicated. So I'm just going to have my lister put that in the title. Then he won't have that issue of trying to figure out what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sorry that Mark's camera broke, but it but it definitely pushed me over the edge to go ahead and get photo room. I've been kind of pushing that back on that because I bought this beautiful camera. But you know, I mean, if it's gonna waste my time, my photos have been one of my biggest problems. I'm just gonna go with it and go with it. And like you suggested before, is photo room. I mean, it's gonna be the quickest, the easiest, and the most professional photos that I can do. And then with the grid that Mark was saying is also another really good tip for me. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Go ahead, Mark.
It's been a blessing in disguise having the camera breaking on me. But do try to do the photo room with the Google Photos and integrate those two, so you don't have to connect your phone to your computer. So you just download it from there, and then you're good to go.
And I guess I'll have to put up a YouTube video on how to do that. So yeah, I'm sure it's out there. So
Yeah, it's an easy setup. Well, what you do, like before you even start your photo room, download the app of Google Photos in your phone and have it running already on the background. And when you set it up on the menu, have it save the photos that's coming from photo room, and it'll automatically go in your Google Photos, and then have your computer running with Google Photos on, and you'll just automatically be there as soon as you finish.
Okay.
Good setup.
Thank you.
Mark, were you ever able to duplicate your SIM card?
Oh, I haven't tried yet because I'm still waiting for one more router to come in that does the dual band where it hits up to 2 cell towers, and I think it should be coming either this week or next week, and then I'm gonna test that out, and then I'm gonna try to do the SIM card thing. I haven't really looked into it too much, but as soon as I find anything new, I'll let you guys know.
All right, everyone. Have an awesome